Hey everybody, and good Friday evening. You have found the Valley's most in-depth weather forecast video, Weather for Weather Geeks. It's been a pretty interesting day today. The severe weather threat thankfully is not materialized, although some pockets of heavy rain definitely have been a factor at times over the last several hours. So let's not show you a blank screen. Let's show you this graphic showing our high temperatures today. Now, we had a decent amount of sunshine for a time this morning, allowing those temperatures to rise quickly. In fact, this 77 at the airport occurred before 11 a.m. today. It really felt like summer with a little bit of humidity in the air. The breeze started to kick up, and then some showers started to push in, and temperatures really stopped rising early this afternoon. But it got to 80 with a downsloping wind in Erie. There's, of course, really hilly terrain just south of Erie, and when you have a southwest or south wind direction, those winds then downslope off that higher terrain, sinking air warms, and so that's how you get it to 80 degrees up near the lakeshore in Erie. If the wind's out of the north, Erie is about 30 degrees colder than that at this time of the year. 79 the high in Pittsburgh today, 79 in Wheeling, Akron at 75, and the high in Cleveland was 73. Dew points have been noticeably elevated since yesterday afternoon. Our dew point as of 7:21 this evening is 60 degrees. Now again, we're not going to mistake this for a mid-July air mass, but considering we had freeze warnings just a few days ago, this has been a pretty big change in how the air feels over the last few days. All right, so we've had some pockets of heavy rain, as I mentioned. The most consistent heavy rain over the last couple of hours has been north of I-80. Flood advisory was hoisted by the National Weather Service office in Cleveland for roughly the northern half of Trumbull County. It includes Southington, Champion, Mesopotamia, Cortland, up to Kinsman, over towards Yankee Lake, and points to the north as well. That's, again, in effect until 10. We've had some localized rainfall totals over an inch over the last couple of hours, so flooding in areas of poor drainage could be a possibility. And we've also had some heavy rain in parts of Mercer County. No flood advisories here, but some pockets where we've probably seen at least an inch worth of rain over the last few hours. Boy, it was a tough rush hour up in Cleveland today, right around 3 to 5 p.m. It just poured and poured, training echoes of rain with not much thunder and lightning, actually. Produced up to a couple inches or more worth of rain, kind of in the I-90 corridor from the western suburbs of Cleveland right through the city and heading over into parts of Lake Geauga and Ashtabula counties. We had flash flood warnings out in that region earlier on. All right, as of this recording, again, as of 7:23 this evening, some pockets of heavier rain in southeastern Mahoning County, North Lima, heading across 224 closer to Newcastle. But again, the most consistent heavy rain as of this recording remains to the north of I-80, but even in areas south of I-80, there can be some bursts of rain here before the evening is through. Actually, the back edge of our precipitation is back here. This is close to the actual cold front that's going to come through. Now, the air mass behind this front is not significantly colder, even though tomorrow will be a cooler day by a handful of degrees. It's just kind of a subtle air mass change, but again, a pretty dynamic front today, so it's been able to squeeze out some heavy rain. And that severe weather threat, while it did not materialize here locally, did materialize to our north and east. This was kind of a New York State special today, kind of an I-90 special, if you will, from Buffalo across Rochester over to Syracuse and then all the way across to Albany. Lots of tree damage, wind damage up in that region, and actually kind of a rare tornado watch for parts of New England this evening. I say rare because tornado watch is pretty uncommon once you get up into New Hampshire, Vermont. A little more common as you get down into the capital district around Albany, heading over into Massachusetts, down into Connecticut. But once you're up into Vermont and New Hampshire, they don't see tornado watches all that often, especially in New Hampshire. All right, back here at home. Again, last of our rain probably pushes through mid-evening, and then things will quiet down overnight. Clouds will tend to linger into our Saturday morning. Now, the weekend's going to get off to kind of a gloomy start, but it's not going to be that way all day Saturday. I think from north to south, we'll see this cloud deck try to scour out as we get into the afternoon. It may take until late afternoon in some spots, but it'll happen. And then let's talk about Sunday. I think Sunday will feel a lot like today did. Temperatures will ramp up into the middle and upper 70s. The dew points will come up in the afternoon, and the threat for showers will be there. Now, this front looks slower and slower, so the slower timing on the front would suggest that the severe weather risk on Sunday may actually be highest closer to the front itself, western Ohio, back into Indiana. But even around here with this warm front chugging through, not going to rule out a couple of heavy gusty storms. And then our actual front probably rolls through Monday with more showers. Right now, the SPC outlook, the Storm Prediction Center outlook, has the low end risk in the darker green, 1 on a 1 to 5 scale. most of Ohio, almost all of Ohio, all of Indiana as well. I suspect what you're going to see tomorrow. I would not be surprised on Saturday morning's update if there's a slight risk area introduced, maybe out in here, kind of in the heart of the current low-end risk, maybe Cincinnati, Dayton, Indianapolis, down towards Evansville and Louisville. That's what I kind of suspect you'll see out of the Storm Prediction Center for their, what will then be the Day 2 outlook for Sunday, issued tomorrow morning. All right, temperatures will peak on Sunday. We might, if we see enough sun, we might have our first 80-degree temperature of the season on Sunday. Way behind schedule. Our average first 80s at the end of April. So we're way behind schedule. All right, we've had to trim back those temperatures more and more for early next week. So I've only got 61 now on Tuesday. And it's going to take until the end of the week before the warmer air returns. It was just a few days ago that it looked like next week from start to finish would be warm. But thanks to an upper low, which appeared on the models a couple of days ago, that's this guy right here, this little trough, it's going to say, I'm done riding along the jet stream, I'm just going to do my own thing. And it's going to dive to the south. And once the models picked up on this a couple of days ago, forecasts had to change in a hurry for next week. And so now not only does it look cooler because the ridge is pinched back out here in the middle of the country, it also looks unsettled with this upper low. You're going to see pinwheels of moisture coming in, and we've got a showery forecast for Monday, for Tuesday, and maybe even into Wednesday. And worst case scenario, if this thing is slow enough to get off the playing field, it may take until the very end of next week before we're done with the shower threat. Not sure if that's right yet, but I'm not going to rule that out. There's an old saying, upper low, weatherman, or now to be a little more politically correct, if you will, meteorologist's woe, even though the original saying was weatherman's woe, that the upper lows tend to kind of have a mind of their own and definitely don't behave as we want them to a lot, and so they have a tendency to kind of stick around and ruin forecasts from time to time, and next week could be one of those situations. Now, eventually, of course, the upper low will go away. It is going to warm up, and the 8 to 14 day outlook shows that. We've got warmer days ahead as we head towards the home stretch in the month of May. That'll do it for me tonight. Thanks for watching Weather for Weather Geeks tonight and all week long. I'll keep you updated throughout the weekend on the weather, especially Sunday's thunderstorm risk. In the meantime, make sure you're following the rest of our team, including our weekend warriors, Chris Cerinelli and Ramel Carpenter. I'll see you back here for Weather Geeks on Monday.